Sairam children, I welcome you all in online computer science class in chapter number 9, part 4. Children, today we are going to perform or try to understand if else based programs. In the last video, we have discussed about the selection statement. So under selection statement there was four statements: if statement, if elif statement, if else statement, or nested if. So based on those statements, today we are going to understand few programs. So children, the selected program which I'm going to explain you have to write only those programs in your notebook. Okay, getting my point? In your chapter number 9, many programs are there. Only those programs which we are going to discuss, you have to write only those programs. Okay, so let's start with very first program, that is write a program to input three numbers and display the largest and the smallest number. Okay, so now for this program you need three numbers. Okay, so you can take those number at compile time also and at run time also. In the given solution, runtime value user is asking at runtime. See how: input enter the first number, input enter the second number, input enter the third number. Okay, now we know that Python always take everything in the string. So we have to convert, we have to do typecasting here. So whatever input is given by a user, it should first convert into float. After that, it is going to store at the particular respectively variable. Okay. Now, when you are asking for enter the first number, first it is going to convert into float. After that, it is going to store into the num1 variable. In the same manner, when you ask by the user to the user, second number, it is going to convert into float. After that, it is going to store in num2. Okay. Then enter the third number. In the same manner, num3 is going to store your third number. So at num1, num2, num3, your respective variables are there. Respective numbers are there, whatever you have given. Suppose, let's see, at num1 you have given 12, at num2 you have given 13, and at num3 you have given 2. Okay, now here AND operator is there with if. Okay, so AND operator means both the conditions should be right, then only this particular statement execute. Otherwise it jumps to elif statement. Okay, let's see. So your num1 is 12, num2 is 13, and num3 is 2, I suppose. So first compare: num1 is greater than num2. Num1 is 12 greater than num2 13, and num1 is 12 greater than 2. So this condition is true, this is false. So if statement will not work properly, so this statement will not execute. Next, num2 is greater than num1. Num2 is 13. 13 is greater than 12. Yes. And num2 13 is greater than num3. Num3 is 2. So this condition is true. So your this particular statement is going to be executed. So largest is a variable. It is going to store largest is a variable. It is going to store num2 value. num2 value is 12. Okay, now num2 value is 12. So if statement was false, so it was not able to execute. Else statement is true, so after else statement it will not jump to else if, because among if else only one statement work at a time. So when we get elif statement at a particular time true, so it breaks the statement and jumps outside the if statement. It will print the largest number is 13, because largest variable 13 is there. Okay, getting my point? I hope you are able to understand this program very clearly. In the same manner, if you want to store the smallest number, if you want to print the smallest number, so use here less than sign, and instead of largest variable you can take smallest number. Okay, so try this program in your software and see whether you are getting the correct output or not. Let's move to the next question. Now this question is also very interesting one. Write a program to check if a given number is a perfect number or not. Now first of all, try to understand what is perfect number. Suppose one example is given. If as an input entered by the user is 28. Okay, so first of all we need to find out the divisors of this 28. So it comes in ones table, it comes in two table, it comes in uh, at which table it comes in? It comes in 3 table, 3 no, 4 table, 5, 6, 7 table. After that it comes in 14 table. 4 plus 2 is 6, 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 14 is 28. So these are the divisors. When we add these divisors, we are getting 28 number. It means the number entered by the user is equal to addition of all the divisors of that number. So when we are getting the same number, it means that number is a perfect number. Okay. Now, first of all, ask the user to enter a number. So again it is going to be converted into int. It means typecasting is there. Okay, now sum is equal to 0. It means we need to add all the divisors. So for that we need one extra variable. Initially it should be 0, because if we store some value inside that, the addition gets disturbed. Okay, now for I in range 1 comma n, n is, suppose you are pressing 28, so n is 28. It means your for loop start from 1 and ends at 28. Okay, now after this I will show you in the notebook exactly how your program is working. Let's move to that side. Okay, now see, for I in range 1 comma n, so n is entered by user is 28. It means your loop start from 1 and ends at 28. It means I, first of all I is 1, then it is increased by 1. It means I is 2 in the next round, then I is 3, then I is 4, I is 5, so on till 28. Sorry, till 28. Okay, sorry, till 27, because in for loop it will not take the end value, always decreased by 1. It means it works from 1 to 27 basically. Okay, now n mod I. Now we know what is the meaning of mod. Mod means whatever comes at the time of remainder. now this n is 28. 28 mod I first of all is 1. So it will solve fully. You will get remainder 0. It means you will get the permission to enter inside this sum in this particular statement. So you will get sum was 0 initially plus I is 1. Now some value is going to be 1. Okay, now again it will move to the for loop, because now I value will be 2 this time. Okay, take this condition, it means 28 mod 2 equal to 0. Again this condition will be true, so again it jumps to this condition. It means again this condition start. So sum equal to, sum is now 1. 1 plus I is 2. So now sum value is 3. Again it goes to the for loop, because in for loop repetition of steps are there. Now 1, sorry, I value is 3. Okay, again check this condition, 28 mod 3 equal to 0. So this condition false, so it will not enter inside this. Again I value is 4. So again this condition if statement is going to be checked, 4 equal to 0. So this condition will be true. So again it comes here in this particular statement, 3, because initially some value is 3, 3 plus I is 4, now it is 7. Okay. Okay, next time I value is 5. 28 mod 5 equal to 0. This condition will be false. So again I increased by 1. So I is 6 now. 28 mod 6 equal to 0. You will get false value. Again I is increased by 1. I is 7. Okay, 28 mod 7 equal to 0. You will get true. So again this statement allow you to enter inside this particular statement. Now again sum plus I, sum 7, I is also 7. You will get 14. Some value is equal to 14 now. Now after 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 until 13, 14. At 14 you will get this statement true. Okay, you will get statement true. So 14 plus 14 gives you 28 here, and after that till 27 no other number will satisfy this particular condition. Okay, so you will get sum equal to 28. Now after that, after completing this if statement, you are having another if statement. If sum equal to n, sum is 28, n was again 28, so this condition will satisfy. So it will allow you to print one value, print the number. This message will print as it is, because it is under the score n. 28 is a perfect number, so it will show that message it is a perfect number. Okay, I hope you are able to understand this concept. Try to understand this concept. That is why I have explained you inside the notebook how actually for loop works. So this for loop run at least 28 times to check this particular condition and mod I equal to 0. The moment I is true, so this particular statement run that time, otherwise this particular statement is not going to be work. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Now another program is write a program to check if a given number is Armstrong or not. Now which number belongs to Armstrong category? See, one example is there, 407. 407 is a 3-digit number. Okay, 407. Okay, so Armstrong number, if a 3-digit number is equal to sum of cube of each digit, it means 4 cube plus 0 cube plus 7 cube. You will again get 407. So if this particular condition satisfied, that number is Armstrong number. Okay, now try to understand this question, children. See, again I will show you this question in the notebook. Okay, first line is num is a variable, int input a 3-digit number, enter a 3-digit number. First of all, that number whatever you enter, it is going to be convert into int. Typecasting is there. After that, it is going to store at num. Now sum, again a variable, equal to 0, temp equal to num. Now here temp, why we are making temp variable as a temporary storage, it means like if we are having one cloth, okay, we want to make a hanky from that cloth. Okay, so before we do experiment on the original cloth, what we do, we use paper. Okay, first we try on paper so that our work done perfectly. Okay, so this temp is a temporary storage, because if we want to perform any action, we will do on the temporary variable. We are not going to apply directly on the num value, because at the end we need this num value for comparison, whether we are getting the same answer or not. Okay, if we start doing the all the actions on this num, so the originality of that variable destroyed. Okay, now while term greater than 0, now you have put, enter a number at this, you are putting 407. Okay, what you are putting, 407. Then temp greater than equal to 0, it means 407 is greater than 0. This condition is satisfied. Now if this condition is satisfied, in this while loop is we are using. So in the next video I will explain you while. Till then, just try to understand what I'm saying. See, while is also just like a if like a for statement. So in that also we check whether that condition is true or not. In this also we check whether this condition is true or not. So while means जब तक ये condition ट्रू होगी तब तक ये 3 लाइन्स रन होगी. Okay, now temp is 407, that is greater than 0, so this condition is true. Okay, so now these three values, these three statements work. Now temp mod 10, means 407 mod 10, 4s are 40. Now you are getting remainder 7. So this 7 is going to store at digit variable. So now digit is having this 7. Now next line is sum equal to sum plus digit this 3. It means power. Okay, now sum initially we are having 0 plus digit is 7. This sign, it means 7 power 3 exponent. Okay, so whatever answer come, it goes to the sum. 7 7 is 49, then 49 into 7 is 343. Okay, so one sum value you are going to have here. Okay, so you will get some value equal to 343. Now next statement is temp this equal to this. What is the meaning of this? It means you are going to deal with this value 40. Okay, now again this while condition check, 40 is greater than 0. Yes, it is greater than 0. Again, these particular line run one more time. Digit. Temp is 40. 40 mod 10. Again check 40 mod 10. 4 ja 40. You will get 0 as a remainder. So digit will get 0. Then sum sum is 343 equal to 0. This sign 3. It means 0 ki power 3. You will get 0. So again sum is 343. Now temp this sign equal to 10. It means this 4. So now temp you are having equal to 4. Okay. Again while loop start, 4 is greater than 0. 4 is greater than 0. Again that particular statement run. Digit temp mod 10. So 10 divided by 4. So again you will get 4 as a remainder because nothing we are solving. So digit is 4. Okay. Now sum equal to sum plus digit this sign into 3. Sum is 343. Digit is 4. This sign 3. It means 4 ki power 3, that is 64. 64 plus 343, you will get 407 sum. Okay. Now you are having nothing here. It means 0 is here. So again while condition going to check 0 greater than 0. Okay, so this will fall. So no, now after that when you get 0, so these particular statement will not run again. Okay, so your while loop ends here only. Okay, now after completing the while loop, now this much of program we have solved. Next is if num equal to sum. Num is original value 407 equal to 407. So if this condition true, it means that number is Armstrong, otherwise that number is not Armstrong. Getting my point? Okay, now let's move to the next portion. Next question is write a program to print the Fibonacci series. Now what is the meaning of Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series means adding first two digits getting the third, adding second and third you are getting fourth, adding third and fourth you are getting fifth. Okay, so see, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. So adding with the previous one you will get the next value. Okay, this is called Fibonacci series. Now write a program to print the Fibonacci series. So how many terms do you want in that? We need 8 terms. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, 8 terms are there. Now first is 0, second is 1. Fibonacci series, first number, first of all we need to first print is 0, second number we are putting 1. So initially we have to start with 0 and 1. After that we will have those value automatically. Okay, then I2 raised to power, then t means you are having 8 terms. So 2 comma 8, it means it will deal with 2 to 7. Okay, next is first plus 0, first plus second. First is 0, second is 1. So next you will get 1. Print next. So again 1 print. Then first is equal to second. First is equal to second means second is 1. Now first is also 1. Second will get next. Next is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So in this way it will give you the whole Fibonacci series. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Next question is whether write a program to check if a given number is palindrome or not. Palindrome means like number is 6 7 8 2 6. If we move from this side you are getting 6 7 8 to 6, and if we are moving from this side, again you should get a same number like 1 2 1. From this side also it is 1 to 1, from this side also it is 1 to 1. So 1 to 1 is a palindrome number, and this 6 7 8 to 6 is not a palindrome number. Okay, so in this way you have to check. So again you have to take one input, then that num store in another variable, so that we are going to work with the temporary storage number. We are not going to touch the original number. Then w num greater than 0, if this condition is true, you again find the modulus, then solve this equation, then you will get dividend here. So try to solve this while loop again and again. At the end you will get one rev value, then check. If that number is equal to the original number, you will get palindrome, otherwise that is not a palindrome. Okay, now let's move to the next question. Next question is very interesting one. Write a program to print a using a single loop, no nested loop. So you have to print this particular pattern. So in the whole pattern 1 is there, so n equal to 1. For a in range 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 time it is working, that is why it is given 5. So print n. First time print n means 1. Okay, after that n into 10, it should be new line here. If we press new line, after this if you print slash n, so it will directly comes to the new line. Okay, let me show you this question also in the notebook. Okay, now n equal to 1 for a in range 5. 5 means 0 to 4 it will work. It means first of all a is having 0 value, then a is having 1 value, then a is having 2, then a is having 3, then a is having 4 value. In this way a list is going to be prepared. Now print n. Print n means 1 it is going to print. Okay, then after that you are having print, add this also, new line, then n equal to n multiply by 10 plus 1. So n is 1, 1, sorry, multiply sign is there, 1 into 10 plus 1, it gives you 11. Now n value is 11. Okay, so print again n is 11, so it will give you 11. The new line, again new line will come. Now n value is 11. 11 multiplied by 10 plus 1, 110 plus 1, 111. So again it will move 1 1 1. So in this way it will move. Okay, I hope you will get. Then again next question. Write a program to print a pattern like this. So again I is 4, 1 2 3 4, 4 times it is printing 0 to 3. So j, it will start from 4. I is first of all 0 minus 1, so it will give you 4. Then again it will, this particular portion minus, then it will give you 4 3 1 2 1. Then again it gives you 1 I, then it will again start from 4, so again minus minus. So it will work number of times the I and j scopes. Okay, so this is your homework. Try this particular pattern in your homework. Then next question. Write a program that takes a name and age of a user input and display a message whether that is eligible to apply for driving license. For that you need name and age. If age is greater than 18, you are eligible for driving license. If not it will goes to the else part, it is not eligible. So this is simply based on if and else statement. Okay, try all this question at home, children. You will able to solve. Okay, write a function to print table of given number. The number has to be entered by the user. Now in the previous video we have done for a specific table, but this time if user is saying three table will print. If user is printing five table is going to print. If user is saying six table is going to print. So enter a number. User is entering 3, so it will going to store at n. For I in range 1 into 11 means 1 to 10. So n is 3, so 3 is there. Then this cross sign automatically print I is first of all 1 equal to n multiply by I. N is 3 into 1 is 3, so you will get 3. In the next time I is 2, so 3 into 2 give you 6. So in this way it will work, but it is little bit different because this time at the run time we are deciding which kind of table we want. So with this we are ending with this video. I hope you all are able to solve these program. Only these program from the if statement, else statement, else if statement is there in your syllabus. In the next video we will going to discuss about the while statement. Thank you so much for attending this class. We will meet very soon.